Welcome to today's session of the Chaos Show. We are here in the Sisu studio. This is our last session of the Chaos Show. I am Mike Morgan. I am head of marketing here at Sisu.
And I am Rachel Dahlman, the product owner here at Sisu for our robots. Thank you guys for attending today's session. We're going to go over some cool stuff today.
That's right. So I mentioned I am over marketing here at Sisu. I think everybody knows what marketing is, but Rachel, product owner, you might want to explain to everybody a little bit about what you do here.
Yeah, so my day-to-day is basically taking the creative vision of anybody that wants to make content and making it so that our robots can make that a reality. Every day I'm out there researching new technologies, talking to our current robot owners, and kind of mapping out what's next for our robots. I take it then all back to our team of engineers here at Sisu and kind of let them go wild and make our robot make everybody else's creative vision a reality.
That's awesome. So if you're interested in robots, if you're interested in Sisu at all, Rachel is a great person to know. I want to put in a plug real quick for our Instagram. There's a QR code on screen. You can scan that. It'll take you right to our profile. We've got a lot of amazing partners out there, people using the robot, and they're making incredible content. So we constantly are reposting that and trying to show what these people are doing. So if you're interested in that, if you want to see what people do with these robots, go to our Instagram. You'll find it all there. I also want to point out that David is on chat with us today. So if you have any questions, any comments, anything like that, feel free to throw that in the chat, and he's very knowledgeable. He can answer those questions. And if there's anything that needs to be addressed right here on camera, he'll be sure and let us know.
But what are we going to be doing today? We are going to talk visual engineering and high-speed cinematography because we are launching new products!
All right. That's right. We are very excited to be announcing the XO series. In partnership with Performing Rigs, we have put together a series of turnkey professional rigs for visual engineering, high-speed cinematography, and also for photography. We've got 3 rigs that we will be releasing immediately. This that you're looking at right here is called the X-Jet. We've got the X-Launch over here. We'll also be showing off the X-Jump. Our partners at 8183 Productions will be doing a demo, and they'll be showing you a really cool piece that they made with that. So you're going to want to stick around for that here in a few minutes. And I'll also mention, we're starting out with these 3, but in the near future, we're going to be releasing even more and adding to this XO series.
All right, so let's start out and tell us a little bit more about the X-Jet, Mike.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's look at the X-Jet. So while the camera makes its way over here, I'll go ahead and start pointing out a few things. So you'll notice we've got this nozzle unit and also the pump. I've also got a fluid reservoir down here. It's fully adjustable on the pressure and the flow rate. I'm getting worried that maybe my mic is going out. We good? Can you hear me? No? Check, check. Mic check. All right. So fully adjustable pressure and flow rate here on the X-Jet. We've also got a series of interchangeable nozzles, which you'll see here in just a second. There's 6 or 7 different spray patterns there. It's also got an inline safety switch. So if you're working on set and you want to make sure that nobody accidentally squirts you in the face or anything like that, you can just flip the switch right here, and you're able to disable the system that way. Also comes with quick connects at each connection. Makes it really easy to set up and take down. Baby pins on each one of these units as well. And then it comes with all the cables and power supplies that you need to be able to use this. I'll also point out, I'm going to grab this.
Mike's going to grab our custom studio crate that all of these come in.
If If you want to grab that for me. There you go. So it also comes with this custom studio crate. Each of these rigs does, which custom cutouts and everything makes it really easy to take with you wherever you need to go, and look very professional.
All right, and then over here we have our X launch device. And so this is perfect for launching whatever you can dream of through the air, as long as it's under 15 pounds. And it also has another connector, another attachable head that you can use to push things off of a table or slide things off of a table as well. So with that, it's going to come in here, and we've got a switch on the back here for safety. So I've turned it off because I want to make sure that it does not go off right now. It's got this variable pressure right here at the top as well. So if I want to adjust and dial in how high things are launching in the air, or how fast those things are, or if it is a heavier object, I can turn up the pressure. With these different, it also has similarly quick connects on the back here, so it's really fast to set it up once you're on set. And the same as with our X-Jet and the X-Jump, it does come with that custom studio crate so that you can really easily pack up for the day and take it with you and make sure it doesn't get damaged. And so now we're going to kind of turn it over to 8183 for a demo of X-Jump.
Yeah, let's roll that video.
Hey everyone, hey, thanks for joining in. My name is Ryan Hill. I'm the owner and tabletop director of 8183 Productions. We're a production company based in Kansas City, Missouri. And today we're super excited to be partnering with Sisu, showing you guys their new line of products called the XO Series. Specifically, we're going to be showing you the X-Jump. It's a pneumatic launcher that uses air pressure to launch pneumatic pistons, and it's going to essentially be a table that launches whatever you want to put on it up into the air while you cook up the craziest cool shot that you can think of. Today we're going to be working with our Sisu C20 in combination with the X-Jump and our Phantom Veo 4K PL 990S camera, and we're going to be shooting at 1,000 frames per second. And ultimately my goal for the shot is just to create eye candy, and anytime you can shoot at a high frame rate at about 1,000 frames per second at 4K resolution, and you can move the camera extremely fast with a robot, with our Sisu. When you do playback in real time, essentially you're creating ethereal moments, magical eye candy, whatever you want to call it, and really what's happening is your action, when you do playback in real time, your action is happening in slow motion, but because you're able to move the camera and whip it around so fast and so precisely, the camera move feels like real time. So you get this kind of push and pull, or this compare and contrast with high speed and slow motion, and it lends itself to just creating very visually dynamic images. The idea behind this shot was to kind of pick like a brand and then do kind of a spec shoot around that brand. And so today I've kind of selected the cocktail mixer brand called Fever Tree. And the idea is just to kind of have a scene propped out and have a few of their cocktail mixers in bottles, and then also have a few styled cocktail drinks with garnishes. And then to have the camera start in super tight. And as the camera is over tight, we have a hand that comes in, it tops off one of the cocktails. And as that happens, the camera's going to pull out to this medium shot and reveal the other two cocktails and bottles and garnishes that have been sitting on the deck. And to me, I think the reveal will be cool. Right? We start in super tight, then we kind of pull out a little bit of a reveal there. But I wanted to take it a step further, and then so we pull out further, and as we arc and come down low, the X-Jump is going to launch everything up in the air. And what's going to be cool about that is, since we're shooting at 1,000 frames per second, that launch, everything will become airborne and lifted and just kind of be floating in space.
Oh, that's awesome!
And then it'll come and crash back down, and we'll have all of the splashing and crashing and broken glasses and fake ice cubes going everywhere, but I think it'll all be worth it for the shot. Another thing that's really cool about Sisu and how they've integrated technology is making all of these components to production work seamlessly and effortlessly all through Sisu Lab. And Sisu Lab is Sisu's interface and basically the tablet, the program that you use to program your keyframes, set focus, set your camera angle, compose a shot, and then also set keyframes for the triggers. In this case, we're setting trigger keyframes for the X jump, this launching table. And what's even cooler is now Sisu's kind of working on a prototype cable for Phantom users specifically. It plugs into the trigger point or the trigger SDI port on the back of your Phantom, and then there's a cable that plugs into the combo cable that comes from the robot, which is all communicated and wired back to the Sisu interface and Sisu Lab, and it will start and stop the recording of the camera. The short of it is that you're able to add a specific record channel into your program in Sisu Lab and set keyframes to either turn on and off or send a pulse or a signal to tell the camera to trigger. Tangibly, how that has helped us out is normally just in-house here. It might be myself operating the camera, and then if I run a program, as soon as that program stops, I have to reach over and through a laptop or a pickle trigger, I have to trigger the Phantom to stop recording. Now, all of that's integrated along with the X jump, and so you have all these components to your shot. If you do all the kind of the prep work, the pre-program day, a day before your shoot, you can confidently roll into set and know everything is going to be timed perfectly and exactly how you want it to be.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action! 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 Action!
Hope you guys enjoyed the shot. We certainly did. We had a ton of fun creating it and cooking it up, and it wouldn't be possible without our incredible partnership with Sisu. So Sisu, thank you so much. We love you guys and appreciate all that you do, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. And again, just another thank you to the team over at 8183 Productions. Always doing incredible work. They really wanted to be here on this stream with us live today, but they had a big shoot come up, so they're in Boston right now, and they were nice enough to pre-record this for us and share that with us. So again, thank you to them. So we're talking about the X jump here. I just wanted to point out a couple other features. I think they may have mentioned a couple of these. First off, it is very powerful. It's rated up to 30 pounds, so anything you might want to pop or launch from this concussion table up to 30 pounds, you can do that. It also comes with several different surfaces, and that measurement is 20 by 24, I believe. Comes with a wooden one, so you can screw down to it if you need. Also a white one, a black one, a clear one. You can also run it without a surface on it, or mount other things to that top frame. It has a hollow design, so if you want to put a camera up under there or a light or anything else, you can do that. It's got adjustable leveling feet on all four corners, as well as 2 baby pin mounts. So if you want to mount it on a C-stand, you're able to do that as well. And it's suitable for wet applications. So if you're working with an X-Jet as well, you can do that. It can get wet and not have any issues there. It does require air. It comes with all the cables and hoses, but you will need to supply air. It is also built to fit inside of a Pelican case, so that is an optional thing. Otherwise, you can use the custom studio case that it ships in. So we talked about the X-Jet, the X launch, and the X jump. And we mentioned a little bit about how these are really easy to use and work really well with the robot. So Rachel, can you explain to us and show us how easy that really is?
Awesome. So all of these devices come with the cabling to connect them to your Sisu robot right off of the bat. And so you don't have to do any cabling or wiring yourself. You just plug them right into the front of your Sisu robot. And then how do I actually set this up? Right here in Sisu Lab, I already have a program set up that is going to first look at Mike and the XJet, and then it is going to look at the X launch, and then it's going to go back and look at Mike. And so if I wanted to add a device into my program to trigger it and have it do its action, the first thing I'm going to do is add that new channel for the device that I would like to trigger. And that's going to show up in my timeline. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add keyframes to it to tell it when it should do its action. So as you can see here, I'm going to say at 6 seconds, I want to turn on this device. And then I want to leave it on for, let's say, around 2 seconds. And so there you can see I added a keyframe to turn off that device. So, Mike, are you ready to see what I've done?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right. Awesome. Robot is going to move in 3, 2, 1. All right, we got our launcher. And oh no! All right, Mike, you just looked like you were a little tired over there, so I needed to wake you up. Mike's been here since early this morning, and I figured that was going to be the best way to get him back and awake. And so,
So thoughtful, Rachel. So thoughtful.
I know, anything to make sure you can get through that work day. All right, and so in Sisu Lab, you saw that was a nice little 2 seconds there that I was able to run that robot and make sure that Mike was awake. And so if I wanted to update that and say I wanted maybe 3 or 4 seconds because he's really tired today, all I have to do is go into my timeline, select my keyframe where it turns off, and drag that out even longer.
Great. Still thirsty. Bring it on.
Yeah, yeah. And so I can also say I didn't want to squirt Mike in the face quite that time. I wanted to make sure that the robot was going to do the right action. I can simply go in, and when I go to run my program, if I disable the inputs and outputs, that's going to make sure that my robot and my devices don't go off when I'm not expecting them to, or I don't need them to, because I want to work with the robot. And last but not least, Mike, are you still kind of thirsty over there? You need a little awakening?
I'm so thirsty, so.
From Sisu Lab, I can test out our XJet and turn it on directly from the application itself. And so those manual triggers are in the software, but we also will be putting up on our site a manual trigger box with push buttons so that you can test them without using the software as well. So, Mike, we kind of figured out that Sisu can kind of be this like one-stop shop for visual engineering and cinematography, but really, what does that mean? Tell me more about what I can do with a robot and these rigs that we have.
Yeah, there's a few things that really stick out to me. First off, and from my experience having worked with these, it's really easy to dial in your shot with this, right? You've got full control of the timeline. You can adjust those up to 4 milliseconds, right? So the way I've seen people use them with their Phantoms and their Waves and their high-speed cameras, you do a take, and you can see how everything hits, and you're able to you say, I need to get this XJet to spray another 20 milliseconds later, right? You just shift it over. So it's really easy to dial it in, and once it's dialed in, you're getting perfect take after perfect take, and you've got a lot of options to use that are very usable. So it's great for that high speed, high frame rate work. Also for photo, right? We've had a lot of people use similar rigs for photo. So there's a lot of uses here with these rigs.
Yeah, and we also know with these, the focus is going to keep up because we are doing focus with this. Those takes happen in split seconds, and we want to make sure we're not going to have a fuzzy picture coming out with our content. So with this mic, do I have to know how to wire something up, or?
Good question. That's the other thing that's really nice about these, right? We had them in stock. They're ready to go. We've had a lot of people ask us for something like this because, you look at it compared to a robot, it's pretty simple, but it's not something you just throw together in a couple of hours. It takes some time. You got to order parts, and you got to understand how solenoids and valves and all these things work. So that's what we wanted to offer to you is a turnkey professional rig that you can just order and have within a matter of a day or two. So that's what we're really excited about. The other thing, it looks like we got a couple of questions coming in, but the other thing I wanted to point out, if we can go back to that last one, I was just going to mention about what the robot has to offer this whole thing, right? Because you can get a locked off shot just as easily. My mic working here? Can you hear me? No? All right. You can get locked off shots in photos pretty easily, but if you want to, all right, we're having a couple of audio issues here. Stand by for audio. All right.
Hello? Jenny?
Check. No?
Check. David, you want to chime in? Can David chime in? Is David working?
Hey. Right.
David working?
Yep.
Yeah, grab your headphones.
Yeah, can we grab your mic there, David?
Absolutely.
Am I on? All right, cool. I am back. Sorry about that little technical difficulty there. And so Mike was just talking about with the robot, you can get way more dynamic shots. It's really easy to do visual engineering with a locked off shot once you've got those devices. But what does the robot give us?
Yeah, it's exactly right. You get some motion, right? Locked off shots can be great for some things, but being able to add a little bit of motion to your high-speed shot adds so much to the visual interest of the shot, right? So that's what you get from the robot, is you can really throw that camera around, because when you're running at high frame rates, you got to move the robot really fast too if you want to see any motion. So that's the other thing I wanted to add. Let's go to David. I believe David has some questions for us, and if you'll just let us know what these questions are, we can repeat them here.
Yeah, absolutely. So how many of these
we're good here.
triggers can you put on a single scene?
Great question.
Great question. So we asked how many of...
Repeat the question, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we asked how many of these devices can we put on a single system. So you can have up to 8 of these devices on a single system. So you could have 8 X-Jets squirting someone in the face, all with different colored liquids. You can do whatever you want and whatever you can dream of with these devices. Up to 8. Other questions?
That's it for now.
Awesome. Great question. And I believe we showed that over there where they plug in, right? It just plugs right into to the sim that's on top over there. Great. Well, if you have any other questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. We'll be wrapping up here in just a few minutes. I want to go ahead and plug our Instagram again. Again, you can click or scan that QR code, and that'll take you right there. Give us a follow. We'd love to continue to show you what these robots are doing out in the wild. Also, I mentioned this is our last Chaos Show session for this year. If you miss any of the other ones from the last week or two, first one, we answered the question, why are you seeing so many more and more robots on set? The second one, we talked about virtual production and how robots play into that. And just a couple of days ago, we did a live shoot and kind of let you in behind the scenes and just see that interaction and how what it's like to work with a CC robot. So if you'd like to see any of those, we'll be posting those on YouTube, also on Vimeo, within the next week. So stay tuned for those.
And maybe we've just intrigued your interest so much and you want to see a personal demo of the robot or these rigs in action, feel free to go over to our website and reach out to us. You can get those personal demos with our team here at Sisu. Ask us to move the robot in different ways. And on our website as well, that's where you can reach out about purchasing a robot, renting a robot, or if you want to learn how to operate the robot yourself, you can reach out about training as well.
That's right. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.